you, Mr. Toastmaster. How many of you like apples? Yay! Because so many of you will probably support my point when I say that apples are one of the most important and symbolically significant fruits in the history of human civilization. And I'm also here to inform you that apples actually are the key to the future of human race survival. Bear with me. As we go back to the history, well, the first thing you probably know about apples is that it's a forbidden fruit, according to the Bible. As the legend goes, apple helped Eve tempt Adam into trying it. They were banished from paradise, if I'm correct, and they started reproducing. They started the human race. So to some, apples are the symbol of sin, a man falling into sin. To some, which I prefer much better, it's a symbol of knowledge, it's a symbol of human curiosity, and because of the Bible legend, it became the symbol of human immortality, because we started reproducing. How many of you knew that apples are from Kazakhstan? Okay, great. Well, when I was a kid, I didn't know that because Oxford scientists only discovered it in 2010. But my parents actually wanted to call me Alma when they saw how the 3 or 4-year-old would grab an apple twice the size of her head and race through it and probably finish about 1/3 of that fruit. To me, that bitter, sour taste, juicy fruit actually wasn't just an apple. It was the taste of my motherland or fatherland. Little did I know that in 2010, Oxford scientists will conduct a modern genetic test and find out that apples were domesticated in Central Asia and they were evolving from the wild trees that originated in the beautiful mountains in the south of Kazakhstan. Yes, as you look outside your window or walk around the city of Almaty and you look out of those beautiful, gorgeous mountains, just know that they also are the birthplace of the first apple tree on planet Earth. As if those beautiful mountains weren't significant and important enough for us. For those of you who don't like apples, do you like roses instead? Does anybody like roses? Oh, okay. Plenty more people. Well then, Ilyas, if you like roses, you'll like this fun fact. This is a product of a rose tree. Apple trees, cherry trees, peach trees, apricot trees, and almond trees belong to the rose family. When they bloom, they smell of roses. These are just rose trees that happen to produce an edible fruit. So we have the mountains of southern Almaty. We have rose trees that blossom in spring and smell of roses, and an apple that they harvest in autumn. The nomads took them as a perfect snack when they traveled around because it was nutritious raw and also nutritious if you dry it. 1 apple a day keeps the doctor away, they say. Well, the statement is true. It contains a lot of vitamin C, iron, and many other important minerals and vitamins. They improve our memory, they help reduce the risk of heart disease, and reduce the risk of cancer. They also help build our immune system, among many other health benefits out there. So what happened next in history was that apples became the first global commodity to be traded across the Silk Road. I work in trade, and to me, trade is a symbol of peace, and I'll explain why. When countries trade, they are less likely to go into war with each other because they become codependent. So to me, apple is also the symbol of peace. Alexander the Great probably realized how healthy this fruit was was when he discovered it in Kazakhstan, when he was going on the way back from India in 328 BC. He brought it back to Macedonia, and what happened afterwards is that ancient Greeks, Romans, Vikings, Persians all tasted this wonderful fruit. It's a verified fact that humans actually have been eating it since 8500 BC. My favorite story about apples actually comes from ancient Greece. They loved their gods and goddesses. This is a sacred fruit of Aphrodite, the goddess of love. And in ancient Greece, if a Greek boy or girl would throw an apple at you, it means they declared love. And similarly, if somebody caught the apple, it means, well, unless you killed them by throwing it at them, it means they accepted your love. I throw an apple at you, wrote Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher. Thank you. And if you would be willing to accept it, which Tom did, thank you, you would be willing to accept my love and share your life with me. But if you, as I'm afraid and pray you're not, do not share those feelings, take it still and consider how short-lived beauty is. How short-lived beauty is. It is pretty short-lived. Apples are under the threat of extinction. 90% of fruit and nut trees in Central Asia have been completely destroyed in the past 50 years. And as you know, apple gardens and wild trees are also under the threat around Almaty. Experts warn that the demise of the wild trees in Central Asia and their unique genetic diversity will pose a threat to the world food security. Apparently, as a result of the fragmented and mountainous geography of Central Asia, our fruit and nut trees became so tolerant to the climate change, they developed a new genetic code that was resistant to harsh climate and diseases and pests. So the less genetically diverse cousins around the world desperately need the backup, the genetic backup of wild trees, apple trees of Almaty. Human race is under the threat of extinction because we might not have enough food because of the climate change. And we will have it if we preserve wild apples. And the way to do it, you might ask, well, first, spread this message around. That will also already help a lot. Maybe somebody will want to be more proactive and help those scientists. But one easy and simple way for you to do it is by eating them. Don't let us burn the bridges with past generations and the history of human civilization. We have the capacity, we have the obligation and the duty and the responsibility of saving the human race. Winners make things happen. Losers let things happen. Don't let this happen. One apple a day will keep the doctor away, but it will also help the human civilization survive. Thank you.